Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Angel and Tina Morning Show. How are you guys doing today?
Good morning. Good morning. Another technical difficulty day. Hopefully one day we'll be live on Facebook again.
Yeah, so I wonder if I can, hey, darling, behind the curtain.
The wizard.
He is the wizard. He's behind the curtain. Nobody knows who he is. He's just the guy behind the curtain. And every once in a while, he'll peek over. We'll be live on Facebook again.
Hold on. There we go. I had to mute it on the YouTube.
Okay. Wait, do you have it recorded?
I don't have it recorded, and I'm not recording it because it's going to go to YouTube. But I am going to go over to my page over on Facebook and see if I can put the link in, and then maybe you guys can find it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So streaming on YouTube, I'm just gonna say.
So Daniel, where are you coming from? Florida?
Yeah, I'm in Orlando, Ocala.
Ocala. And it's nice and sunny over there?
Right now, but it's gonna rain tonight.
Yeah, it's raining here in North Carolina.
Listen to your little sweet Southern belle.
Right? Yeah. I go from Jersey to Southern Belle in a hot minute.
She does. This is hysterical. You are,
And yesterday, oh my God, I had the best time ever with Tasha because her accents, I was getting them too. I was like, oh yes, we are gonna have a good time together.
Cheryl, do you do accents? Do you have any strong accents?
No, I don't. And I've lived in Georgia all but 4 years of my life. And the only place I've ever been accused of having a Southern accent is when I went to New York City. So
yeah, it's
neutral.
It doesn't sound all Southern drawl-ish, right? How about you, Daniel? You have any accents?
Nope.
Come on, you got something. You got something you can pull up your sleeve.
Nah.
All right,
and I've lived in Georgia for 24 years, and I don't say y'all.
I totally say that.
I don't say y'all. I say you guys because I was raised in California.
Even I say y'all, and I'm just from Denver.
Do you? Yeah, I don't say y'all. And like when people talk to me, they always tell me, where are you from? You're not from here, are you? And I'm like, no.
I'm
from California. I'm like a Cali girl, totally.
You totally are. You totally are.
Don't do that.
We were doing this yesterday. It was so fun. I do it all the time, and it's so fun when like the people I'm with, they do it too, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah, you were gonna practice your London. You were gonna practice.
When she was saying, what was she saying? Bob's. What was she saying? Butts and bobs.
Bits and bobs.
Bits and bobs.
Yeah, bits and bobs.
Bits and bobs. I can't say it.
They have these just really cute little phrases that they can say that like we just can't. I mean, we're just too Western, right? To be able to say all that.
But I love the fact that she was going from all these things, and then she did this like radio DJ voice, and I was like, whoa, where did that come from?
It was really funny. She's like digging deep, like right all. Yeah,
I love it.
That was hysterical. All right, so folks, what have you been up to? Are you excited about the rollout and getting back to work, or are you kind of getting cozy with staying at home?
So I'll be making the choice to stay home. I have a medically fragile mom at home, so we just don't take that extra chance. And of course, Georgia is in the middle of controversy.
Yes.
We can go get tattoos. What?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm excited about the hope of opening up, but the industries that they picked.
That's what I was like. Why are they opening up the nail salons, hair salons, and restaurants? That's where everybody goes.
And it's also touchy, right?
Yeah.
It's all because touchy, right? Daniel, where
all
are
the
you
leaders'
at?
wives are.
I'm in Florida, which is following right behind Georgia, I think, as far as
opening up.
Early openings.
But you guys were like one of the last ones to close too, weren't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was in Target yesterday, and only about 20% of the people were wearing face masks, and even most of the staff were wearing face masks. And I'm like, it's just scary. It's like anybody here could be carrying the virus.
Yeah.
And I tend to like be optimistic about most things, but this one I'm being very cautious. So.
Wow. And it's so sad too because our Target's not even open. Like nothing is open. My roommate and I went to like the Chinese grocery store the other day, and we walked in and they were like screaming at us to put a mask on. And they had these like homemade masks in the basket, you know, they were like screaming at us and we were like, whoa.
You didn't have a mask on?
We were just gonna like run in really quick.
You even have all these fabulous masks.
I even have a mask. I even have a cute mask.
You just wear them at home?
I forgot them. I have this really cute mask that somebody
Oh, that one. I like that one.
Wow, cool.
And then I have a Chanel one.
I have a Chanel one coming.
Oh, I'm
And
like,
then
you
I
have all these masks.
all these other masks, and I'm like, how come I'm not wearing any of these?
I'm gonna waggle my finger at you.
I know.
Waggle my finger at you.
There's a country accent for you right there. I'm gonna waggle my finger at you.
Right. I'd yell at you too.
I mean, they were like, whatever. That's what they were saying. We were like, and then we had to put them on. They were like paper towel or something, and I was like, I can't breathe. I can't breathe.
We went just for a little break the other day and went to the Starbucks and did their mobile ordering, and they bring out your coffee to your car wearing a mask. So yes. And then we didn't have ours because we were only in the car. And so we're like leaning back. So sorry, I didn't bring my mask.
It's gonna be like you know how you have your glasses everywhere?
Yes.
We're gonna have masks everywhere, like
like our pacifiers.
Car. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I had a parking lot picnic at a restaurant a couple of nights ago. They were doing
parking lot picnic.
Well, yeah. So we brought our camp chairs, sat 6 feet apart, got their to-go food, and commandeered a table out of their front area. Just took it out to the parking lot and ate. It was the most normal I have felt in months.
What kind of food was it? If you're gonna anticipation, like what kind of food? If you were gonna go out and have a picnic, what would you pick? I'm sorry, what did you say?
So it was Tuesday. We did Taco Tuesday and margaritas. They were selling their margarita mix by the half gallon. So they gave us cups and ice, and we brought our own tequila, and we had Taco Tuesday. So we had fish tacos, chicken tacos, steak tacos, and rice and beans and margaritas.
Wait, where was this at?
In Canton. I went to Riverstone Corner Bistro.
Oh.
And
as soon as I leave Atlanta, that's when all the good stuff starts coming out, when you get to go margaritas.
Oh, that's true. We're all going, can we keep that? Well, the margarita itself wasn't to go. Like I had to bring my own tequila. But you know me, it's
like some of them are even doing like you can buy take the alcohol to go. Like some of the restaurants were doing, right? Which
they're doing wine and beer, but no liquor.
Okay.
Because there's a huge difference.
Yeah, I think I saw a sign at Outback. They were selling wine and beer to go, right? So you can order a steak to go and you go to get wine and beer with it, I guess. So some people are being pretty creative.
It's really creative here.
Yeah.
So that same restaurant is actually selling groceries too. And then they're selling their dry aged steaks they have a high end restaurant, a sister restaurant. And so they're selling their dry aged steaks too.
We have cute little restaurants doing the same thing. They're doing the grocery, and then you can buy these little dinner kits. It's pretty impressive.
It's so funny how people are pivoting their business. Like you're like, oh, I would have never thought of that.
Right.
Yeah.
But you have to.
Yeah, you have to, and they're trying to care for their employees. And so I know I talked to one of the local restaurants. I have a local help business page, and I talked to one of the local restaurants, and he had to lay off like 80% of his staff. So they're furloughed.
I actually had somebody yesterday. She told me that they are actually going to have to lay off. They're going to have to lay off everybody and file for bankruptcy because they're industry they're in. It's not a restaurant. It's a different industry, and they're just not going to be able to recover from it.
I wonder how many industries and businesses are going to end up going under because of this. They cannot, they cannot sustain.
Yeah.
I think we're up to. How have you pivoted, or what have you seen for pivoting for some of the businesses that you're working with? Daniel?
Yeah, me? Okay, sorry. What's funny, and I'll knock on wood every time I say this, I haven't had any disruption yet. I'm lucky that all my clients are able to do things virtually, and my business is pretty much virtual anyway. So I've been weathering it pretty well. And I've actually added a few new clients. So, I've been pretty blessed that way. But I know I'm expecting that at some point someone's going to realize that even going virtual is not going to make them enough money. So I worry about that. I'm trying to be creative about how we can do different things to add value. But I think for people that have been working remotely and are used to working virtually, they're doing better off, I think, as a whole. And I've been doing that for quite a while. So like I said, I felt pretty blessed right now.
Yeah. You're pretty virtual. Anyways, right? You're pretty virtual.
I don't work. I have an office that I spend maybe 3 or 4 days a month in, and the rest of the time I'm working at home or Starbucks or normally from the road. So I'm used to running my business from wherever I'm at.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think there are industries, and a lot of, especially the folks that we know, right, that are speakers, they travel, they have this laptop lifestyle. There's a lot that we do that is digital and virtual. And so but at first, like when they were canceling all of our speaking events, we were pretty anxious about that.
We quickly pivoted. Like,
you guys were the quickest.
We were the quickest. I mean, I literally called her on the way from Tampa and said, listen, I think we need to do a virtual summit. She's like, let's do it. And within 3 hours, we announced it and did it. And I was like, oh.
I know. This is my list. Did you guys see this from yesterday? I woke up, I went to bed last night, not last night, but the previous night. I woke up an hour later and thinking about all the things I'd done in the last 5 weeks. And this was my list.
Wow.
Right? Wow. And it started with that virtual summit. That's what kicked it off. And then it exploded from there. Yeah. But truly, like, there are people that I don't know. It's just heartbreaking because they weren't virtual. They are an in-person. They are a live event or very hands-on, and it's just not. And even when we start doing events again, I don't think we're going to see the attendance for a while. So the investment that it costs to put on an event, and we've seen even just here doing the virtual summits, and you probably have seen it in different events and things that you're attending, the numbers are off the chart. I did an event the other day. They had over 500 people registered to attend it. When was the last time we could get 500 people into a room, right?
Right, exactly.
Without
the Thrive Summit that's coming up that you and I are both speakers on. They have over 1,000 registered already.
Wow.
So, me and Angel were talking, are we going to continue the morning show? Are we going to continue the Connect Summit? So we're thinking we're going to still do a virtual summit once a month, just 4 hours. Angel?
Yeah.
4 hours.
Hey, I tried. We tried.
We're pushovers. We're like, okay, we'll let you in. Okay, we'll let you in.
So summit number 1 ended up being a 2-day summit because we had 28 speakers.
And it was only supposed to, what was the first initial? We were only supposed to do like a 12 to 6 or a 12 to 7, something like that. And
I have eyelash in my eye. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
The one eyelash I have left.
It's supposed to be like 5 or 6 hours or something like that. And we put a thing out there and she was like, oh my God, we're completely booked. And I was like, really? And she was like, Tina, we have like 10, okay, 15, okay, 20 people on the waiting list. And I was, and we like just put it out there 6 hours ago. Within 12 hours, it was booked.
Yep.
And I was like, well, maybe we should make it longer. She's like, let's make it a 2-day. And then it just went to a 2-day, but whew.
Yeah. And then summit number 2 was only going to be whatever it was.
And then it was supposed to be 4 hours.
I don't even know where we started.
Yeah. And then I have to text Tina. I'm like, I made a mistake. There's like these other 2 or 3 people that I forgot were already included. So now we had to expand it. And so then this one, we're like, okay, 4 hours.
From 2 to 6. That's it.
Yeah. And it's mostly, although there might be one more person.
Oh my God. She calls me yesterday. I have bad news. And I was like, oh geez, I had her on speaker. I was like, oh Jesus, let me take you off speaker.
So
like, no, it's not bad news. It's just
from number
news.
1, yeah, the second one, we made a waiting list. And I was like, okay, yeah, we'll just put you on the next one. And so we ended up filling both of them. You'll be on number 1 and you'll be on number 2. Well, somewhere between number 1 and number 2, I forgot about the waiting list. And so then we filled it. And I'm like, oh no, I forgot all these people had already committed and they're already in. So it's a little bit longer. It's a little bit
now
longer.
It's 1 to 6 still, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh,
That didn't sound very convincing.
right? It didn't. She doesn't even know you. And she knows. And we always do a happy hour afterwards and we have the funnest time. But the last time
I was only going to do a half an hour happy hour this time.
That's what I was telling. I was like, oh my gosh, I barely was like, you were just dancing. We were all in our PJs. And I was like, because it was 10 o'clock for me.
10 o'clock at night.
Okay.
This is when Tina and I discovered we have matching PJs and we didn't even know.
Yes, it was so fun. I was
Oh,
like,
hilarious.
but of course we would have matching PJs, right?
Well, I want to know where my invites are.
Right?
I like to do fun
That's
stuff
what
like
people
that.
say. Angel, you didn't invite me. I'm like, we didn't invite anybody.
Everybody on
Like
Facebook.
we just talked about it in the Facebook group and then they just kind of came out of the woodwork and we had a sign up link and people were just signing up. It's like,
yes.
usually you have to convince people to like sign up for stuff.
I think I barely got home from Tampa and she was like, we're completely booked. And I was like,
how did that
what?
happen?
Right? She's like, Tina, I put one post out there to my group and completely booked. She's like, we have 15 people waiting. And then like 2 seconds later, 20.
Well, that's a good problem to have, right?
Yeah. I think we're going to continue with the Connect Summit because I think you have to mix your virtual and your live events. And with these virtual events, we have never seen numbers like this ever.
Right.
Yeah. No, because everybody's home. I think they're far more receptive and available, right, to do it.
And then the stay-at-home moms and the people who can't afford to travel can stay home. And then now they can afford to invest in themselves with a coach or invest in a course or invest in something that they need to increase their business instead of using all that money to travel.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
So we just take our travel budget and put it in our
investing our business budget. Yeah.
Yeah. I love it.
There you go.
Okay, well, let's get to know our guests a little bit better. We're going to start with Cheryl. She has an interesting story. She survived homelessness, spousal abuse, uncontrollable debt, widowhood, and breast cancer, but none of that has stopped her from becoming a successful mortgage professional whose mission is to help her clients understand that obtaining a mortgage and building generational wealth through real estate for their families is easier than you think. As a 15-year veteran of the mortgage business, Cheryl uses her experience as a former underwriter and processor to help educate others on the rules and regulations about mortgages, and she fights all the misinformation surrounding in the industry. And in this current crazy environment, there's uncertainty and fear, but Cheryl is the calm in the storm, and she is no stranger to a rapidly changing market. Cheryl, we're so glad you're here.
And let me tell you, she's a good friend of mine too. And those last two things, the widowhood and the breast cancer, all came within a 6-month period time together.
Oh,
yeah, it was tough.
That it sounds like hit after hit after hit, and yet somehow you just kept crawling out. And you're like, I will not be stopped. I will not be taken down.
Exactly right. I mean, from 18 to now, which we won't talk about how old I am, has been a pretty rough road, right? And not all bad, and there's, great pockets in there, but certainly if you can go through it as a woman, I've probably been through it and I'm still here. So,
well, we're
just
so
about
glad.
picking yourself back
Can
up.
I just say something about her cute hair?
Stop.
So like I said, her and I have been good friends for
So
8
true.
years or 7 years or whatever. And we used to go out and go to Starbucks and have dinner or whatever. People literally stop us. Like this one lady, we were at Starbucks sitting outside. She literally stopped while she was in the drive-thru. Excuse me. And we both went. And she was like, I just love your hair.
Oh.
Is it natural?
Yeah,
love
so it
that.
isn't. Did you know me, Tina, when it was dark?
Yes, I met you when it was
Okay.
dark.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought. So it hasn't always been like this. And I've had the struggle just like every other woman in the world. Do I continue to dye my hair or do I let it grow out? What do I do? Am I ready? What are people going to say? You know, my favorite question is, what does your husband think about your gray hair? And I'm like, well,
Who cares?
first of all, he didn't marry me just for my hair, I hope. And if he did, I need another husband,
Right?
you know, right? But yeah, the decision was tough for sure. And, you know, I tell women all the time, they're like, oh, you're so brave. How did you do that? And I said, well, you know, you just do it. First of all, there's no fixing it, right? Unless, so I have a friend who, she said, well, you just need black girl magic, Cheryl. And I was like,
What's that?
I
Only in Hotlanta do you hear that.
and put on a wig. And I was like, oh, black girl magic, that's perfect. But no, I cut all mine off and just suffered through it because I started going gray at 18.
Really?
Nobody wants gray hair at 18. Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's very wise because you're just very wise. All right, so you are so wise, and I know that there's a lot of when we're talking about the mortgage industry. You know, I think a lot of people are seeking out, you know, delaying their payments and moving some things around. So you're here to kind of bust some myths. What's the top myth that people are that you're having to answer these days, Cheryl?
Sure.
Did she pause?
So the one
Hold on,
is
Cheryl.
mortgage
Cheryl, you're breaking
forbearance
up.
forgiveness. Uh-oh.
Oh, there you are. Okay. You're
Okay,
going to
are we
have
back?
to start all over because we missed the whole thing.
Sure, no worries. So the first thing is that mortgage forbearance is forgiveness. It's not actually forgiveness. And the news is painting this all as unicorns and rainbows. Oh, we'll just tack it on to the end. Don't worry, don't pay, none of that.
Yeah.
But that's not actually what's happening. And people are finding that out after they make phone calls and say, I want to forbear my mortgage. And they're getting a letter in the mail that says, okay, well, we'll give you 3 months to not make your payment, but on month 4, you got to pay us all 4 months. So how does that help people?
Yeah.
If you don't have $1,000 today to pay your mortgage, how are you going to have
4,000
in 4 months? Exactly. And then their letters go on to say, and oh, don't worry if you don't have the 4,000, then we'll just, you know, put that over the next 6 months or 12 months of payments. So now we're going to add, you know, almost $400 to your already payment that you can't really make. So that doesn't make any sense. And then my favorite is, and if that doesn't work, we will tack it on to the end of your mortgage, but we're going to give you 120 days to decide on that. And then once you're outside of the 120 days, then you're outside of the protections of the CARES Relief Act. And guess what happens? They destroy your credit.
Okay. So,
okay.
Cheryl,
Okay.
So,
okay.
Right.
Hold on.
You know, and I know that this is like this, I've seen this, right? I'm hearing this, but I can't do like was this just like a little band-aid that they're sending out to say, well, do the forbearance while they buy themselves and figure out what they're really going to do? Because you're right. Like if we couldn't do it now and they're doing this for everybody, they're really creating quite a hot mess for themselves, the mortgage company.
Right? Well, it isn't. So it's not the mortgage company. So what's happening is that our government wants to help you, and their heart is in the right place. But what they forgot to do was put all the other stuff in this spider web together to figure out what happens after, right? So it, you know, when they say, oh, we're not going to report to your credit reporting agency, well, that's great. That means your credit score doesn't go down during the time that you're in the actual forbearance. Okay, well, that's good. But what they forgot to do is check how could you get a mortgage later? And so right now, if anybody is in forbearance, I don't know any lenders that are refinancing so you can get a lower payment, or if you were in the middle of buying a house and you decided to forbear your current home and move into another one, you can't get a mortgage.
Oh,
If you are in forbearance, you cannot get a mortgage.
Wow.
And then to further complicate that, the governing bodies over mortgages require 12 months of on-time mortgage payments for you to be able to get a mortgage if you've already had one. And even though they're not reporting as late, there's going to be a gap. There's going to be a 3-month gap, and then you're going to have to wait a year.
but isn't there going to be like a gap for everybody? Like
That's what I was saying. Like everybody, if everybody is late on their mortgages or everybody is late on their rent, like they can't put everybody out. You know, I mean, even if it's
But they
80%.
can. But they can. Remember 2008? They did the same thing in 2008. They painted it all as rainbows and unicorns, and it took people longer to recover because of the implications of what they were doing on their credit.
So what should we be asking for instead of forbearance, or should what I don't know what
right.
what's
So
the...
yeah, first things first. If you need a forbearance, you should absolutely ask for it, and you should absolutely do it. Okay. But if you don't need one and you can pay your mortgage, you should be paying your mortgage. There are no restrictions on this. There's no proof. You don't have to prove that you've been out of work. You don't have to prove that your company folded. You don't have to prove any of that. You can just say, I don't want to pay. So you could be, you could be a doctor, an ER doctor that's working every single day and say, I don't feel like paying. So if you can pay your mortgage, pay your mortgage. If you cannot pay your mortgage, absolutely ask for this. Just talk to somebody you trust about what's going to happen in the future so you can properly prepare for it.
Well,
right?
this
Because
is
we
one
can
of
help you
those
through that.
things too, Cheryl, like
Mhm.
because we don't know how long, right, that,
Mhm.
businesses were going to be closed. We don't
Right.
really know, what the ramifications were. And so it's like, well, if this was a way that you could, have a little bit more liquid cash because you didn't have to make the payment to ride
Right.
out who
Right.
knows what, what effects were coming, it
Right.
seemed like, yeah, unicorns and roses, like, yay, like, look, I've got this
it seems great, right?
right?
Yeah.
Just in case I can,
Mhm.
have a little bit more liquidity because, I don't have to pay my mortgage for 3 months. I mean, that's like for most households, your largest expense.
So,
Yeah.
right. Absolutely. But utilities are helping their clients. If you call them, they're not going to turn off your utilities if you don't pay. You got to call them. In any of this, you have to call the servicer, whoever it is, whether it's your mortgage or your utility. Don't call cable because you need your cable right now. Right? You need your cable and internet
Or at
right
least
now,
Netflix.
right? Right? You need that right now because you're working from home if you can. But call them and see what they're offering. A lot of utilities are saying, don't worry. We know you're having a problem. We'll forego that payment. Your credit cards also, car companies are doing the same thing. And if you are in a situation where you can't pay, then starting with those things first will be easier to overcome in the future. Yes, it's going, if you don't pay your credit card payment, it's probably going to ding your credit, but not nearly as much as a mortgage no payment, and it will be easier to recover from that. So, and you always want to prioritize, right? You want to have a roof over your head. That's the first thing you need to do, right? B, feed your family, make sure that they're comfortable. C, make sure you can work, and whether that means you have to have internet or you need a car to go back and forth, then you need to do that. But everything else can wait, right? And it's a lot easier to overcome from those things than it is from not paying your mortgage.
Yeah.
This is good stuff. How do you want people to get in touch with you, Cheryl?
So I'm local to Atlanta. I am only licensed in Georgia, but that doesn't mean I can't help people in other states. We do have a really fantastic out-of-state desk, and I can be as involved or uninvolved as you want me to be. But locally here in Georgia, my number is 770-299-3391. And my email address is Cappelli, and that is Cappelli at Annie-Mac.com.
Thank you. I like the priorities, right? Make sure you have a roof over your head, that you can eat, and that you can work, right?
Exactly.
To help you to establish what it is that you're going to be doing and taking care of. So
that was good information. I think a lot of us have just that mixed information that we've been getting, and getting fact, myth or fact, type of questions answered.
Yeah,
I mean,
was
that's
just
really
like,
the thing.
yay.
And even if you're in another state and you just need to talk this through, please call me, because that's my road in life, is to help other people, right? And make sure that they understand these, so they don't end up 5 years homeless like I did, right?
Yeah, that would be heartbreaking to have to come out of this quarantine, this pandemic, and to have a whole bunch of people who lost their homes. Like, that would just be
And
their jobs and their homes, you know.
right.
Exactly.
Well, Cheryl, thank you. All right, well, Dan,
my pleasure.
it's up to you now to bring this home, right? We'll find out what's happening in your industry and busting some myths that are going on around working virtual, and especially when it comes to hiring virtual assistants. I love that. Dan is the president and founder of Sonic Analytics, a data analytics and virtual staffing firm based in Florida. He also has teams in San Francisco and in the Philippines, in Manila. Sonic brings big data analytics and virtual staffing to small and medium-sized organizations looking to enhance their use of data and scale using virtual assistants. Anybody ever thought about hiring a virtual assistant and think that maybe it might be time, and what can they do? He is the go-to guy, the answer man when it comes to VAs. Dan Myers, thanks so much for being here.
My pleasure, Angel. Thank you. And thank you, Tina, for having me as well. And Cheryl, pleasure to meet you. And thank you for sharing everything. So basically what I do is I help people figure out how to grow their business using virtual staff. I've been doing it for about 10 years. And I found that the beauties of virtual staff, which we're seeing now, is that they can work 24/7 from anywhere. They're well adept at using a lot of different tools and applications in the digital space that allow us to be more productive. And, it's kind of funny. If this would have happened 10 years ago, we would not have the ability to do what we do, right? Just this Zoom call, for example, the technology wasn't where we needed it to be to do something like this. And now you have hundreds of apps and hundreds of tools that you can use to help run your business or grow a new business. And having people that are well versed in those tools and can be successful working from home, it's never been a better time to scale your business with virtual people. So that's basically what I do. And I've, like I said before, I've been pretty successful and pretty thankful that I'm still successful. That this is something that's been so far fairly pandemic proof, because the people that work for me have been working home for a long time, and they're good at what they do, and so they've made the transition seamlessly to the environment we're in right now.
I love it. And as small business owners, and you probably see this all the time, like, they wear so many hats, like they're so busy and they're doing so many things, and there's probably a whole lot of things that they could outsource so quickly, so easily, so affordably. What are some of those like beginner things that are on a small business owner's plate that are so easy for them to get off and hire a virtual assistant for?
Right. So the biggest thing I think that most small business owners and entrepreneurs probably misuse their time with is social media. And, we all like to promote ourselves. We all like to share things, and we love to see the feedback of likes and shares and get engagement, but that's not something that really is the best use of our time. We should be creating new content. We should be making new relationships. We should be doing more towards growing the business, and being on social media all the time isn't necessarily our best use. And so if you want to have somebody else post things for you, especially if you want to create like what I call a content calendar, where you get into like a schedule weekly where every Monday you're doing a certain thing at a certain time. And every Tuesday you're doing a certain thing at a certain time. So your audience starts developing kind of like an expectation that every Tuesday I'm going to deliver a new video on technology, right? A tech talk. And instead of me having to put that out there and share that across social media and monitor engagement, I can have a VA do that and free me up to create more content, or to focus on the connections I need to be able to grow the business. So social media is one that eats up a lot of our time, but we probably shouldn't be doing ourselves.
Okay, so yeah, and I know that there is, I mean, because when we are on social media,
we have all these plates that we're spinning.
Right? We're doing it more like a consumer, right? And as a consumer, social, like when you're just scrolling through and looking at the videos, right, and just consuming, it can be a complete waste of time. But when you hire somebody, they are there as a vendor, right? As a marketer. And so they're not getting all caught up and wrapped up in and some of that consumerism stuff that takes up our time. So yeah, that's brilliant. That's brilliant, Daniel. What is, because I know, I mean, like, what are the top, I don't know, a couple of other things that are so easy that, and they're like, they speak English and they communicate, and they're probably even better at it than we are because we're hacks at it, right?
So for example, I do a lot of my work comes from the Philippines, and just to kind of give you the background there, if you're not familiar, the Philippines used to be an American colony, right? So they have an American style education system. They speak an American style English. They take English in school, so they have good grammar. For the most part, you're going to find a lot of Filipinos have a really good work ethic as well. And then in addition to that, you're going to look at the fact that most call centers in the world are in the Philippines, right? So if you call 1-800 whatever, you have more than a 50-50 chance of getting an agent in the Philippines that's serving American clients. And so not everyone is perfect, but a significant number of them have that good English, have that work ethic, are used to working for American companies. So that's who I hire for my agents. All of my agents that are virtual assistants with me used to be call center agents. They all have at least a bachelor's degree. They all have a lot of work experience. So you're getting somebody who's very professional and has a pretty good pedigree. And of course, you know, the biggest reason that people outsource is cost. And so you can usually hire somebody that has more education and more experience in the Philippines for a third of what you would pay somebody here.
So can you give me, like, is it an hourly rate? Is it a package deal? Or like, what would somebody, just to kind of put on their radar, something that they could start to expect for outsourcing?
So basically, if you're looking at social media, newsletters, email marketing, things that you would do administratively in your business that take up time, you can put that into a package. And normally we do either $500 or $1,000 a month for a package to manage that kind of stuff. And then that person would probably work 3 to 4 hours a day in your business, on your business, right?
What? 3 to 4 hours a day for less than $1,000 a month?
So you take how much money you're worth an hour, right? So what did we say? So I think, Angel, you and I both are like $300 or $400 an hour, right? With what we had.
Wow.
So yeah.
Okay.
And so that you take that and you make that money yourself.
Right. So the way you look at the simple math is, if you want to be a millionaire, if you want to, at the end of the year, have $1 million in profit for yourself that you want to declare as your income, and you were to figure out what is the hourly rate to get to $1 million a year, it's $520 an hour, right? So if you think of it this way, that if you're doing something for your business that you could pay somebody else to do for less than $520 an hour, you should be doing that. So you're only focusing on the things that you have to do, so that you're not spending all your time doing things that eat up time, but should be done by somebody who can do it for a cheaper price. And the other thing about virtual assistants, especially the ones that I have on my team, they can learn your voice. They can learn to do things the way you want to do it. I mentioned content calendars, right? The idea is that you want someone who's consistent. You want somebody who's on message every time. And you want someone whose priority is to be managing your digital life, right? Because you get busy. You can't drop what you're doing to respond to messages on Facebook or to follow up to YouTube comments. You have to do it when you have free time. But if you have somebody who does that as their daily job, they're going to be able to get to everything right away, and things won't pile up or get missed. So that's another advantage of having a virtual assistant.
And you go through and you pretty much go through each one of your virtual assistants, so you can pair them up with the right people.
Exactly. So it's all about matching, right? So you want to find somebody who fits your style, can really add value. And like I say, speak in your voice, right? So part of what we do is that we do that matching process. When we actually allow, you know, the client to do the interview if they want, to have the final say on who that they work with. And we've had great success. I mean, I have very low attrition. Most of my team has been with me for 6 or 7 years. My clients are super happy. I haven't lost any client because of bad service on our end. And this is atypical of virtual staffing. If you go to freelancer sites like Fiverr or Upwork, you've got it's like a crapshoot, 50-50 chance of getting somebody who's actually going to do what they say they can do. But if you do it through a managed service like mine, you have not only that VA that you can vet and make sure they're good, you have an infrastructure in place, right? So you have people like me and my management team who will kind of be there to help make sure that things get done the way you want them, and to be that, person to talk to when things aren't perfect. So I've built this, business up, and like I said, it's growing, and it's very, very successful for people that are able to grow their business. I have one client that we started with 6 people, and they now have 40. They have 40 people working for their business that work from their homes, doing a wide range of things like graphic design and email marketing and customer service. So really anything in your business that you're doing that you shouldn't be doing, you could look to having a virtual assistant do. So I always say that the thing you should do to get started is to take out a piece of paper and write 3 columns across a piece of paper, right? And column 1, write down what are the things that you wish you had more time to do. If you had unlimited time and unlimited budget, what would you do in your business to make it better? And then in the middle column, write down the things that you're actually doing now. What are the things that you're doing right now every day on a regular basis, and notate how much time it takes you to do them. And then in the column on the right side, these are things that you want to shift into that column for the VA to do. Things that you're doing that are eating up too much of your time in the middle column that you can shift to the right, and then take things off the left, which is your dream, and have you do them yourself, right? So that's really how you figure out what to outsource. So if you want to do that, I'm definitely available to help you. If you want to get started today, you can text data to 26786, or you can go to my website, sonicva.com. It's sonicva.com, and that's our virtual assistant part of my business, Sonic. So sonicva.com, or you can text data to 26786 and get started right away.
I love that. I love that, because I was just teaching my clients about time blocking and how you have to delegate certain things, and it's perfect for right now because so many people are busy working, and you're like, what did I do? Right. And then you make the list that Angel made.
Right. And I do want to say one thing additional about, I recognize that there are some people that really don't feel too excited about having somebody overseas work on their stuff. And I do have VAs here in the US as well. So if that is an issue that you want to make sure that you have somebody that's in the US, we can work on that. And of course, it may be a little more expensive, but if it's not a matter of price for you, it's a matter of where the person is, we can accommodate that as well.
Wow. I love that. I love that.
Thank you. Thank you, Daniel. You're like a little small business owner fairy, like fairy godmother, right? You're like
our fairy godfather.
Yeah, I do my best.
Sorry. Right? But take this off your list and take this off your list and look at all that fabulous stuff, right? And even right now, even as we're all home and we're not commuting and we're not traveling, we're seeing how much more productive that we can be because we don't have these other things. And what did you really want to accomplish while you were on this pandemic? Were there things that, for months, years, you've been saying, I just wish I had more time if I was just home and I didn't have to, and we've been given that gift.
Yeah.
But many of us have just filled it with, other busy work, right? And so this is a great resource. Well, both of you, right, Cheryl, when you're thinking about your finances and the mortgage and setting yourself up for success and making sure that you're not accepting a deal with the devil, right? Like, it almost sounds like that. Like, sure, you can take the 3 months not to pay it, but then you're going to owe it all to me on day number 91, right? That just seems like the most stupid, ridiculous thing in the world.
I mean, how would you, if you didn't have the money 3 months ago, how are you going to have triple the money now?
Right. Yeah. And, and you said it perfectly, that the services are trying to buy time, right, to figure out, because even though you're not paying the servicer, which is who you pay your mortgage to, they still have investors that they have to pay. So that's why they're trying to recoup their money as quickly as possible. It's a really big trickle down effect. So,
and it always does. It always does. It always trickles down. It always trickles down. Well, these are both of you, just great resources as to things that people are dealing with right now. Growing virtual, and because even once the doors open up, having those VAs, those things, you're going to have even less time to do all these things that we've added onto our plate and gotten comfortable with having all this, no commute time, no travel time,
no down airplane time.
Right. And just hopping from one meeting to the next. We won't have that going forward. So yeah, bringing on help is always a good thing. So this is great stuff. Cheryl, give you our contact information one more time.
Sure, 770-299-3391, or my email address, CAPP, and that's like Paul, ELLI @Annie-Mac.com.
Yeah, if you were in the radio, I'd have you get a new email address.
Unfortunately, that's the one they got to give me. Like, I'm highly regulated, so they watch my email. I don't get to use anyone I want.
Oh, you can't like have a pointer?
Not technically.
Right. So I used to be in radio, right? That was my background, right? And so anytime somebody would come on and they'd have something you had to spell or had like all these things, like, okay, let's just make this more audio friendly and work on that. But yeah, if you're regulated, there's nothing.
Yeah. Anything financial, we're highly regulated. They like to see what I get.
Sure. Right?
Daniel, what about you? What's your contact? How do you want them to get a hold of you?
The best thing to do would be go to the website, and you can fill out a form that will talking about what you're looking to outsource, just to get started, what you're thinking about delegating. So if you go to sonicva.com, there's a button right there on the page that you can get started with. Or you can go ahead if you want to text, and you can text the word data, DATA, to 26786, and you'll get a reply right away that will get you started in the process. And if you're just curious, if you just want to figure out, is this for me? Is this something that I really want to do? We can do a trial period. We also have discounted pricing if you want to have a longer contract. So there's a lot of flexibility. So really the idea is that we want to be able to help a business grow. And we want to work with you to make it grow. And right now, obviously, everyone's a little bit challenged. So we can be flexible. So if you want to get started, go to the website. That's the best thing I would recommend.
I love it. So you have COVID-19 prices.
A pandemic pricing, right? I love the 25th hour on your banner. Like you just want an extra hour in the day.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right? You can
I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm kind of excited because next week is the Connect 3 Summit.
Wow.
Woo.
April 29th. I had to look at my calendar.
It's 4 hours.
From 1 to 6. Yeah, from 1 to...
It's from 1 to 6 Eastern time.
1 to 6 Eastern time. We have several things coming up. I'm Tina Torres, the gratitude specialist, your client retention expert, and I help you create loyal clients for a lifetime. Turn those clients into raving fans and increase your cash flow without adding a single new customer. So if you text the word connection to 26786, you can get your 7 ways to increase your cash flow right now.
I love it. She is already, like, when you kind of start to blend all the different resources and everything, right? If you're going to hire out all those administrative things, right? You're going to keep your cash flow rolling.
Yep.
You spend more time retaining your customers, right?
Then our exposure media specialist, our Madam Media herself.
Madam Media. Oh my gosh. The media exposure my clients are getting right now. It is so exciting. There's so much opportunity. If you wish more people have heard of you, you're looking for more exposure, how do I figure out even how to get that exposure online from the comfort of your own home? Look, all you have to do is wake up in the morning. Look, I have my sleep mask.
She has it. Oh, I need one just like that. It's pink and it matches my pajamas.
Right? I should wear it out like this, right, when I go out.
You should. Yeah. No, wear it the other way. Do not disturb.
Do not bug me. But you can create media exposure, publicity, all from the comfort of your own home. If you want your media guide, you can grab it at makeyourbigimpact.com. That's makeyourbigimpact.com. And every day this week, we're doing daily tips on how to create more exposure with your online events inside of our Facebook group. And you can get the link to that at makeyourbigimpact.com. Don't miss out, right? Right now is the perfect time to share your story, to get media exposure, to leverage what we call OPP, other people's platforms. We do have the Connect Summit. We've got a magazine, an affiliate with a magazine. We've got other
the Assets Are Sexy event coming up.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Cheryl, we've got to get you on the Assets Are Sexy. We've got to get you registered for the Assets
Sharon
Are
Lecter.
Sexy, because
Yeah.
Sharon Lecter is
Oh,
putting
yeah.
that together.
She's one of my heroes.
Right, it's an event that's geared for women who want to hit that $1 million mark, that they're in the gap, and it's also for the women who want to hit that, and a few good men who are champions for women behind it. So,
and then we both have the and I forgot the exact name for it, the Thrive Summit. That's this weekend.
it is this weekend.
Early next weekend, or what is it? The 25th, 26th, 27th?
I don't know. What is today? Oh, today's the 23rd. That's this weekend.
Okay, so it's this weekend, and there's going to be over 1,000 people listening, and I think she has about 30 different speakers. Me and Angel being one of them.
There's so much going on right now. There's so much access. There's so much learning and training. And for many of these events, if you register for them, if you can't attend like right then and live, you can always pop in and out, and you can usually get the recordings for them as well. So just
actually, with the Connect Summit, they have over $20,000 in freebies. $20,000 in freebies. So if you register for the Connect Summit for next week, April 29th, from 1 to 6 p.m. Eastern, I'm making sure she stays from 1 to 6. You'll have over $20,000 worth of freebies. And some of those freebies, there's like a retreat in there. There's like a free workshop in there.
All sorts of free goodies.
All the freebies from all of us.
Yeah. What did you put in there, Daniel? Because you were on the last summit. What was your freebie?
It was 10 hours of VA service for free if you sign up.
Oh.
What? I don't think I did that.
The dogs can hear you now, Tina.
What?
Okay, so go to Connect Summit on Eventbrite, register to attend, and you'll have access to the virtual gift bag from Connect Summit 1 and Connect Summit 2,
right?
With all the speakers. And if you upgrade, it's free to attend, but if you upgrade, it's $27 to upgrade, and you have the recordings from all 50 presenters, which is pretty awesome. There's some really good stuff there. Yeah.
So thank you guys all for coming today to the Angel and Tina Morning Show, where we come to you every weekday at 10 a.m. Eastern, where we bring a little brightness to your day every morning.
A lot of brightness in the morning.
A lot of bright. Oh, you have your yellow on today too.
Oh, it's like lime green, actually.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. You can't actually see it, but yeah.
There you go. There you go.
Oh,
that's a nice view of you. That's good.
For Angel and Tina, we will see you tomorrow. Folks, thanks so much.
Thanks,
Bye, guys.
guys.
Have a good day.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.